Buenas tardes, señoras y señores. Mi nombre es Dolores Jimenez y Muro. The time is now. Today, I will be talking about what state our nation's in and the steps that Madero needs to take in order to assure us that he meant what he said in his plan of San Luis de Potosí. In that plan, he outlined that we must obtain liberty and free ourselves from the odious tyranny that oppresses us. Now, I think he has our best interest at hand. Madero does, and he was the man that started this revolution. He is the man that stood up to Diaz and put his name in the ballot box to offer hope and promise of democracy. With that, I think he deserves all of the chances to carry out what he promised. With that said, he is being too slow in his reforms. So, for one, he talked about the horrendous nature of the old government, yet there's still people from Diaz's government that are still lecturing us and talking to us. How can that be? If Diaz's government is a sign of corruption, why are we letting corruption foster in a government that we should be making more democratic? Another thing is he should be pushing for land reform and raising wages for the poor men and women of this nation. People are starving. We're still in a crisis situation. We need quicker reform so that our nation can be in a better place. But it's taking a while to do that. And I think effective suffrage is absolutely vital aspect of our New Mexico. So I have been fighting for women's rights for longer than some of you activists have been alive. And I think that it's appalling that women do not have the same voting rights as men at this point. How can it be that women who fight alongside our brothers in this war to oppose Diaz and bring about the best nature of our country cannot even vote to elect which officials will govern us? I think education is essential for these women, and at the moment, we are not afforded the right access to education that we should be. Women are the mothers of our houses. We are the primary educators of our children. And if we're not educated, then we're not raising up the next generation of Mexicans to the standard that they can be at. So we need to promote women's education and allow them full access. We need to give them the voting rights. And even further, there are more constitutional issues within our system for women, especially for married ladies. So divorce rights are not just, and our access to our children is not the same as men. And unfortunately, this is something that is just not right. If we're truly pushing for democracy, equality, and progress, we need to fix these things in our government. Perhaps not now. For effective suffrage will be a good step in that direction. So the plan de Ayala, I think it outlines some of the things I've talked about in land reform and giving rights to women. And I think it would be in Madero's best interest to observe some of these things. Now, that plan is super critical of him, and it's difficult to take it seriously when he is being slandered so much. But there's very good points if we want to make Mexico the best we can. So, Madero, you must push for effective suffrage and no re-election, or your time as president could be short-lived.